What is going on, Governor? It's Chisgule here, and today we're going to rock out the Sunset Canyon, which just went live, at least in our kingdom, 39. Now, we're on vacation, traveling internationally, but I mean, we wouldn't be playing Sunset Canyon on vacation, so what the heck? Here we freaking go, and we are a sponsor creator with Rise of Kingdoms. We're using a slightly different view than usual. Hope you don't mind. We're a little bit zoomed in, playing on my iPhone, and let's get a look at the rules of this event. Okay, so governors challenge each other in Sunset Canyon. So it's one-on-one to earn ratings and win rewards. You get 7 free challenge attempts per day. I like that, 7 attempts per day. Additional attempts will cost 1 challenge ticket per attempt. And these tickets can be accumulated by completing the daily objectives. You get 1, I think, every time you complete your daily objectives, but they're reclaimed at the end of each season. So you got to use them within each season, which I think is a good thing. Otherwise, you could accumulate a ton and then win some season. Following each challenge, the victorious governor will earn rating points, and the defeated governor will lose rating points. So, theoretically, you can win points on defense, which is pretty cool. Each Sunset Canyon will last 7 days. The end of each season, governors claim season rewards. Can't wait to check those out based on their rankings. Once a season begins, you've got to complete a challenge to earn initial ranking. Okay, cool. Commander levels and talents will take effect, but no other buffs will take effect. Good to know. Good to know. Each governor may deploy, let's see here, a maximum of 5 armies, and you place your armies across 8 squares. Each army will attack the front row targets directly in front of them, then the targets that are behind those, and then they look to the sides. Cool. Last person standing is the winner, or whoever has the most troops at the end. Now, these rewards are fine. There's daily rewards and season rewards. I mean, look, I'm excited about this, and I like that this is a casual event, right? Like gold keys, you don't have to freak out about whether or not you get your first place reward. So this is just fun for fun, really. This is all about having some fun. There is a defense tab. We've already gone in and set up what we think a good defense might look like. What we've done here is we've put our Richard the First up top, so that any armies they try to put in the top are going to have to deal with Richard the First. I don't know if this is actually a good defense. I probably will change it at the end of the video based on kind of what we learn. But I basically make it so that if they put any 4 armies, this is what I'm thinking anyways, any 4 armies in the top part, they're going to have to deal with Richard. And that's a tanky army. It's Richard Charles. Down below, I've got Minamoto, high DPS, more tanky army in the front with Saladin as the secondary, followed by Genghis Khan's. We can just do serious beats. You obviously want to have more tanky armies. I guess you do it like this. Tanky armies in your front line, DPSy armies in your back line, because they have to beat through your front line to get to your back line. And we've got an AoE in the middle in the form of Hannibal Barca with Joan of Arc, and Yi Song-ye with actually Sun Tzu, because we thought the AoE with Rage generation will be pretty good. It's possible that I should be pairing with Richard instead, like Sun Tzu, or I should be doing like a Martel Sun Tzu sort of thing, but I don't know, whatever. I'm good with this for now until we actually take this thing for a run. Oh, sure you want to quit? No, I'm just going to hit confirm. Okay, let's hit challenge and see what happens. So I can only challenge a small number of people. Can I see anything about them? I can see their power, but power doesn't really matter here. It's only going to be an indication of commanders. Now, these commanders are hilarious. This should be pretty straightforward. Let's tango with the frolicking camel. Lol. Okay, so we're up against Caesar and Tomo in the back. Lohar, Sun Tzu. I mean, okay, sure. And you can have presets. That's handy. That's handy. We should definitely make some presets here because we're going to be using probably the same armies over and over. I can't make presets. I cannot save a troop arrangement at Sunset Canyon. Just kidding. Okay, so let's get a stomp force. Like how we did our defense, honestly. Here's what I want to do. For this battle, I'm going to put Richard and Charles down below. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Well, I like how they're forcing AoE up top with Sun Tzu. But anyways, let's do Richard and Charles over here. Bada boom. Spearmen, ready. They're going to tank all the bottom armies. Then up top, we're going to go completely ham. We'll put the Khan Cao Cao army in the back. That's my weakest army. We're going to put in the middle some AoE with Hannibal Barca and Joan of Arc secondary to buff everybody. By the way, I love that my murder ball principles all are super relevant for this. I'm bringing less bowmen and cavalry because theoretically they could have a lot of cavalry. It looks like they brought a lot of infantry. So I actually... Did they bring all infantry? I think they did. I should bring a lot of archers to battle this, honestly. But it doesn't matter. We're just going to stomp. Can I edit that? I can. Let's do this. We'll bring Joan of Arc, and we'll bring almost all archers. Okay. Mostly archers, little cav, little spearmen. We're bringing a mix because that's going to turn on Hannibal Barca's skills. Then up front, Minamoto with our good friend Saladin in the back, rocking calves. And we're going to get some archers doing work here. I think Sun Tzu is the play for the AoE. I think this is a sweet pairing. And let's just hit OK and see what happens. Right, so our Richard should do a lot of tanking. All the armies in the bottom. And then we just melty up top and then stroll on down to the bottom to go beat down over there. Ready? Start. Haha. Okay. Battling's going on up top. I think this is working out the way I wanted. It's interesting. I have commander advantages, but I don't have... Ooh, jeez, is it hard to tell what's going on or what? Okay, so I think this is working the way I intended, which is that my Richard Charles just tanks for a while, because that's an army that can do that really well. The other armies do huge DPS, and then they sweep down to clean things up, which seems to have worked out pretty well. Cool. I mean, hard to say with that particular set of pairings. We need to find some harder opponents. Okay. We gain some points. They lose some points. I don't know how you would get up to 1742 rating. Like, I don't know. I need some tough opponents here. Okay. Next opponent is 1524. That's the toughest one I can find. Let's just take them. That person only has 4 armies. Let's take the toughest one I can find. Here we go. Okay. Will our configuration work the way we have it? I just want to tweak this a little bit. I'm going to put my tank army up top over here like we had before. We'll do it like this. There we go. So we're doing basically the exact same thing. A tanky army up top. Our heavy DPS army is down below with a more tanky-ish army in the front. Oh, baby, and we've got cavalry to run over these archers in the bottom. Yeah, this is going to be pretty awesome. So a lot of what's happening in this game mode is making sure that you understand typing, right? Like cavalry units beat down archers. Archer units beat down infantry. Infantry beats down cavalry. Can I zoom in a little? Move this around? I guess zoom out so you can see. Huh. I'll have to move my picture. Bada boom. So we beat down the cavalry army in the bottom. Now we're moving up top. Our AoE from Yi Seong-Ye should be doing serious work, and it is. And it is. I wonder what kind of stats we see at the end here. I will be really curious to see those. We really need some tougher opponents to gain more ranking. All right. I gained 16, which is cool. We get some loot, which is cool. Let's look at the stats. We can see how many units were remaining, how many were healed, and how many were killed. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. We don't need to replay it. You can replay it. That's sweet, though. Okay. We're going to carry on here. And I just don't know how we're going to get up to 1742 rating. I guess people have to fight us and lose is how that would have to work. Here we've got another army that looks pretty beatable for us. Will it hit challenge? It's the highest ranked one. We're going to do the exact same dancing around with our configuration that we've been doing. Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, I could test a little bit, but I've been feeling really good about the way we've set this up. I've been feeling really good. I should probably switch what I have over here because they've got a Tau army with a bunch of cavalry. So now my flex army here with Boudica should be almost all spearmen and a little bit of these other units. in order to activate the skills on Barca Primary. March speed really doesn't matter much at all in this format, which I think is awesome. We're ready to battle. Here we go. Here we go. Tank unit, holding off as many folks as we can here. Down below, 3 armies. Honestly, kind of impressive. Although, I don't know, it's not like the armies that are being fought there are super impressive. And let's see if the AoE from Sun Tzu is actually hitting multiple armies. Let's see if we can decipher that. I can't currently. I think it is. I think I'm getting Sun Tzu value right now. And that is in part because the way I've positioned my singular army down below with Richard Charles, it's forcing an army to fan out to the side up north. And I'm getting value from the Sun Tzu AoE because that army below is fanning up and getting into the range. Sweet. So this formation is working out nicely. Cool. Another victory. Feel good about that. Let's hit another challenge. We've got 4 more free attempts today. Let's go straight up the list here. The Borg game. I feel like I really want more challenging opponents. It's really not giving them to me. And they are sorted by ranking, so I'm just going to take the highest ranked person I can. Do I need to change my armies at all? No. So, lesson learned here. Do not put a Herman army in a front line, right? Like cavalry going to run that over. Everybody's running cavalry. You must have tanky armies in the front. You must have tanky armies in the front. Now, the downside of stacking the way that I'm sort of stacking right now is that I make myself very vulnerable to AoE. So it's possible that I need to include more AoE in my configurations in order to combat that from the folks that we're battling. However, we are rocking out down below with our tank army. You can see here that our archers angled down. In this case, I don't know that our Sun Tzu is going to hit an extra army, which is interesting. I don't know that he is. It's not going to matter. We're cleaning it up. We have our Barca Joan of Arc tanking, by the way, in part because Joan of Arc is doing some amount of healing, but also because Barca enables us to bring more troops to the battle. That's in part because of talent, and that's also in part because of skills. So there we go. Cleaning things up pretty handily here, but we do need to do a lot of climbing to start to get an appropriate difficulty opponent. And I feel pretty good about the nature of these victories. I'm not using El Cid right now, by the way. I'm not using El Cid. And you see that I'm not even getting below 50% health on my archers right now, so I don't know that I need to be using El Cid, which will turn him on, and half of what he's offering is march speed, which we don't really care about. We're going to keep cranking up the rankings here. We're able to battle a 1577, and this looks a little bit more legit. This looks a little bit more legit. Let's see what they've got here. So they've got Richard, Herman. Now, see, that's interesting. You can pair armies in a way that makes it so that there's some type advantages that you get and disadvantages that I get, which is actually pretty smart. That's pretty smart. How do I want to handle this? How do I want to handle this? I think in this case, they've got cavalry up top and infantry and archers. They've got all 3 types, and they've got their Richard Charles up top, which is a smart choice. I definitely want my archers to battle into that. I think maybe I'll have my Richard Charles hold off 2 armies this round. And we'll battle in exactly as we have it. It's possible I could do some better typing here. I could put more archers up top. But there's no clean row for me to sort of put my cavalry in and just totally wreck. Like, because I really do want my Richard Charles to do a lot of tanking. That's my intention here. One way I could accomplish that is to do something a little like this. Now, this is an interesting lineup because what's going to happen is we're still going to get AoE value from our Yi Ye. We're still going to get some, sorry, now you can see that a little better. We're still going to get a little value from our Yi Ye doing AoE. In fact, we should get great value. Our Richard I is going to do a ton of tanking. Hannibal Barca might be offering some support, and we're just going to try to DPS down their Cao Cao, which, if expertise, we should clean up. Then we'll go to Ethelfled, and we'll just sort of make our way back up top here. I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine. The one thing I'll probably do with this army here is to make it. That was not the army. Yes, it was. Oh, okay. No, actually, I like that. Um, and they've got a mixed army there. Yeah. Okay, we'll bring a mixed army. Joan of Arc. And I don't know, we'll make it a little bit more even this time. That's fine. Good enough. You could bring siege units. Ha. Okay. Let's give this a shot and see how this goes. I feel good about this because we're able to beat down some armies that should be weaker and are offering support, and we'll tank the Richard the First. Maybe. Maybe. See how this goes. Here we are. Charging on in. They've got 3 armies beating on my Richard the First. Now we should look at this. Sun Tzu is going to get sweet value with his AoE. We should be getting really good value with that AoE. Okay, our cavalry are doing work in the bottom. Our AoE is doing work up top. Our Richard the First is holding, tanking 3 armies, and now the armies that we have from the bottom are successful. They're collapsing in. They did take a non-trivial amount of damage, but we are overwhelming at this point, and we're good to go. Sweet. Sweet. I still don't know how you get up to 1700 rating unless you're letting people beat you or lose to you. Rather, challenge you and lose. So we got 17 points, which is pretty sweet. There's no way for me to challenge the winner. This is what the winner currently is using. Not too surprising that Richard and Alex is a pretty sweet combo to see here, along with Martel and Sun Tzu. I like those pairings. Anyways, let's keep on challenging. 2 more challenges today, and we'll call it. The highest ranked person. Now we're getting some serious configurations here. Yeah, we'll take the highest ranked person. Now, this is a fascinating configuration. They're going to basically... What are they doing here? So I'm going to put my Richard right into the face of their cavalry. And I'm going to put my Barca... where am I going to put Barca? Where am I going to put Barca? I think... So Richard is going to... Can he tank all these armies? He could. See, if we do it this way... and we'll arrange it as follows. We could put this here. We're going to get a lot of... Actually, I put that there. We're going to basically... And in fact, we can swap this army to be all archers. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So what we're doing is we're going to DPS down the Cao Cao army because Cao Cao has minus, 10% defense? There's a defense reduction in order to get an attack boost. So that's the weakest army on the board, so we're going to take that out. We're going to have our Richard tanking the cavalry, because it counters cavalry, the infantry do. And we're going to just tank the Hannibal Barca, whatever. And we're going to use Barca with Yi Song Ye to try to burn down their Richard I. I don't love trying to burn down their Richard I, but I'm pretty sure we'll obliterate the Cao Cao army and then collapse in on the Richard I army and just sort of make our way down the board, and it's going to be pretty clean that way. The one tweak we're going to make with our Hannibal Barca army is that we're going to switch that up with Joan of Arc to be primarily archers, because we see that they've got... let's see here. Bada boom, bada boom. We see that they've got infantry on the front line, so let's counter that with mostly archers. And I feel really good about this. This should be a smashing. Here we go. What's interesting about this game mode is you should usually win on offense because you can customize your attack to what they're doing. I wonder if there is a defensive configuration. The only way you could have one that holds is by having just better commanders than the opponent in a strong configuration. So here we go. Our DPS army's up top doing work. Our Richard Charles is holding on for dear life, but is doing serious work against their cavalry army. It is countering them, which is really, really strong. And now we're collapsing down onto their infantry, which is tanking very, very nicely. However, we've got now all 5 armies to their 3. So that was a successful setup, and it's looking pretty good to clean up the board now. We are going to lose our Richard Charles army, but they've done their job. They've done their job. Thank you for tanking. cleaning up is now the task. Now, what I find so fascinating here is everybody's got the same troop type, everybody's got the same tech. So this is all about knowing what types counter what types and having the right commanders to bring to the battlefield. Bada boom. Victory indeed. All right, how many more of these do we have? We've got only one more free attempt. We'll take it. This player is 1627 and looking like a pretty juicy target. Here we go. Now, they've done sort of what we've tried to do, which is to group a lot of armies together, which I think is a strong play generally. I think it's a strong play. We can have our Richard tank both of their cavalry units, which I think is very strong for us. I don't know that I need to change this around at all. We are heavy on archers to counter the Charles Martel, but we will be weak to their CPO cavalry in the back. I don't care about CPO cavalry. Whatever. That's fine. That's fine. This all seems totally fine, and then I don't need to change a thing to feel really good about this configuration. Let's play it out. Let's play it out. Little news flash up top there. Clearly, I'm going to have to run through my phone while I'm recording here and, like, turn off notifications for everything. That's going to be such a pain. Anyways, the battle is on. We are tanking like crazy down below with our Richard Charles. The DPS has successfully done its job up top and is now collapsing downwards, which is what we intend. Circling in on their remaining infantry, now cavalry armies. And our Richard Charles is going down, but look, they've done serious work on their cavalry by virtue of countering the types that they're bringing. Now we clean it up, and we're looking pretty freaking good. Bada boom. All right. So far, so good. If I had Alexander the Great expertise, I feel like that would be the jam in this game mode. Is it worth expertising that commander for this game mode specifically? I would say probably not, because the rewards here are fine, but not incredible. What do I have here? Challenge, I have 0 tickets. How do I have 0 tickets? Huh. I thought I had been getting some daily tickets from... Huh. I can challenge the top player, but I don't have any tickets. I mean, maybe I can get a ticket and I can challenge them. I don't know if I want to be the number 1. Oh, and I can hit refresh. I don't know why I didn't think to hit refresh earlier. I can only refresh so often? That's interesting. I really do kind of want the number 1 player here. That's totally who I want to hit. I don't know if I can find them again. I can refresh as much as I want, really? There they are. There they are. Let's go get another challenge ticket, perhaps, and see if we can battle them. How close are we to doing our daily objectives? Ha ha ha! Ha ha! Ha ha! Okay, challenge ticket obtained. For the purpose of this video, we'll do challenge the player who's at the top. I don't think that's actually the best choice to burn all your challenge tickets at the start here, but let's go find someone we'll probably lose to them. Honestly, we probably should not challenge them, but we're doing it. We're doing it. All right, here we go. Here we freaking go. We found them. Here we go, baby. Let's hit challenge. Okay, what do we got? What are we cooking? We've got Khan in the bottom, which is fascinating. Their Charles is paired with Richard, so he's going to be doing a lot of Sun Tzu for AoE. They've got their Yi Sung Ye configuration in the middle. I like what they're doing here. I do really like what they're doing. We can tank up top like that. And we can run down their cavalry over here like this. Archers like this. And we want to minimize the amount of infantry we have and maximize the number of archers we have in this row. So let's do that now. We're going to remove our Hannibal Barca army and swap it back in with Joan of Arc again. Possible we should be bringing AoE. I think it's very, very possible we should be focusing more on AoE here. I'm focused on buffing right now. Um, it could be that like Ethelflad would be really good in this situation, but I'm going to focus on buffing and rage generation. Rage generation is crucial. Rage generation is freaking crucial. So small amount of these, bring an even smaller amount, and then just go ham here. Okay. So I think this is a good configuration. Let's run through why we've made these choices. We're going to send equal typing against their cavalry at the bottom in order to burn it down, and that's because we think Khan is probably paired with Tau, and that's going to be weaker. So we're just going to burn it down. From there, we've got a maintain in the center, so a sort of holding strategy, where we're mirroring sort of what they're doing, but they're better at it than we are slightly because their Richard is going to do a lot of healing. That's fine because our cavalry will sweep up to help support that. We think that will be fine. We're also countering their infantry by bringing a lot of archers, so our typing should be better, even though their commanders, I think, are slightly better in that line. And in the top, we're just maintaining as best as we can with the single army against one cavalry army where we're going to get incidental counterattack value, and also against Richard, it's infantry on infantry. They've got Sun Tzu as the secondary there, which is we're not giving them a lot of targets for AoE, I think, and we should have a lot of sustain. So let's give this a shot against the #1 player from Kingdom 39. Here we go. Let's see what this looks like. Is all our theory crafting any good? I don't know. Now we find out. Here we go. Damage in on the bottom. There, Sun Tzu. I don't. They might get some AOE value on us. We're getting AOE value with our Isong Ye. We're really having some difficulty in the center here with our Barca. But we've taken out their cavalry army, now sweeping up top to start to do work. Hopefully our cavalry sweep into their archers, which would be very, very powerful. We've now taken out their infantry, and our cavalry swap over to their archers. Our archers are looking really, really weak. This is going to be surprisingly close. Actually, it's not all that surprising. This is the #1 freaking player. And now our armies are sweeping up. Holy moly. Sun Tzu is going to get serious value here. I think they've got it. I think they've actually got it. Wow. This is close, but I think they're going to win. Yeah, they've got me. Well, that's why we took on the #1 team. Bringing lots of infantry and doing a lot of AoE is really, really strong. That's cool. Nice work. Nice work. Looks like if we want to do well here, we might need to think again about our typing, and we might need to think a little bit more about the power of the freaking shield of Alexander the Great. Our Alexander the Great's not in a bad position. We honestly could start using him. He's just not expertise, and maybe that's what we should be doing. I think those shields are pretty gosh darn powerful. I also think, yeah, the pairing of Sun Tzu with Martel is obviously strong, because you're going to, elevate the damage of Sun Tzu. That worked out pretty well. I wish I'd actually left that up to watch the replay to see a little bit more closely kind of how that all went down. You'll notice they're not rocking a Joan of Arc. They're not concerned about that at all. And maybe the buffs are a little bit overrated. Maybe since we were tanking 2 armies in the center there, we should have focused more on the act of tanking and used actually like a, dare I say, should we have used like a CPO? Who else do we have that's tanky? I really do think Alexander the Great shines in this context, even though he's got a lot of march speed. He makes it so that, 5 nearby armies are taking 30% more damage? I mean, that's the difference maker here, I think. That is probably the difference maker, combined with the shields. So, pretty freaking sweet. Defeat, I can revenge. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I can watch the replay. Baby. Now we're talking. Let's watch this again. Let's try to understand what happened here. Up top, we're doing fine. Down below, we're doing fine. But we really do not sustain well in the middle. We really do not sustain well in the middle, is the problem. So our tank army gets kind of obliterated there, and it went down too quickly. Too quickly. I think we were getting good value with our Sun Tzu, and we are running down their archers here. But once our Richard the First goes down, we just completely run out of gas, which is kind of interesting. Who is paired with Minamoto here? Is it Saladin? Or is it more AoE? Because they are using more AoE, which perhaps we need to be thinking about more. It is AoE. It is AoE. So if we watch that again, how much value would we have gotten if instead of like Saladin, we'd used AoE? So let's look at our front line. If we were using AoE in our front line, we would definitely be getting value. I think Saladin is tanking, which is awesome, but the AoE here would have been better. The AoE here definitely would have been better. I actually think... Okay, here's what I would do. I would put Sun Tzu... Yeah. This is what I would do. Okay. What I would have done, if I were doing this again, I would put Sun Tzu instead. With my Hannibal Barca. And if I had Hannibal Barca and Sun Tzu, that'd be tankier, and it's in the middle. AoE would be hitting a lot of stuff, which would be pretty good. And I probably would swap in El Cid in the place of where I've got my Sun Tzu currently, and so it would be Isong Ye El Cid. That's probably how I would tackle that. All right, my friends, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.